Hi, Linda Bowen here from stampingwithlinda.com, your cardiologist since 1997, helping you create cards from the heart. Today's a creative fold video, but it is a simple creative fold. A few weeks ago I did a video on doing just quick background cards just with rubber, ink, and paper, and I got so many response about we kind of make our cards complicated from time to time, and so I thought I would scale back my creative fold also to show you a quick way to do a card. So let's get started. I'm going to bring in my personal trimmer, and I'm going to bring in a piece of Sierra sand. This is a standard A1 card. It's 5.5 by 8.5. I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. And then I'm going to slide it over just to the edge to the 1 1/4 and score it there. So I've scored along the 8.5 at 4 1/4 and 1 1/4. And so there we have it, a very easy creative fold, just using that one piece of cardstock. Next, what I'm going to bring in is my Island Indigo ink pad, and I'm also going to bring in the design from the Touches of Texture, and that is the only stamp I'm going to be using here. And so I'm going to stamp it a couple of times along the edge of that 1 1/4 piece. So I've got that. I'm also going to bring in 2 pieces of Island Indigo. The one piece measures 7/8 by 5.5. So again, I'm just going to stamp that textured stamp, and this one measures 1 1/4 by 5.5, and it is wider than my stamp, so I'm just going to also stamp along the side. You could also sponge, but it gives a soft background, and I don't know how well you can see it, so I'm just tone on tone. See, I've got a little space there, so I'm just going to go in and re-ink. Even if you double stamp with this stamp, it works wonderful. Then now let's go ahead and do that creative fold. So I've got that that way. I'm going to go ahead and put a little fast fuse just to hold my flap down. I'm going to take that 1 1/4 piece, and I'm going to put it along the side there, and the 7/8 piece on the inside. Oops, I've got those backwards. The 1 1/4 should be where the flap is. So let's move that over where it belongs. So the bigger piece should be on that side, and the 7/8 is on this side. Next, what I'm going to bring in is Stampin' Up's new doilies. These are delicate doilies. No, it's hard to see on the white, but I'm simply then just going to take my sponge dauber, and I'm going to go into that Island Indigo, and I'm just going to sponge around the outside of that doily. I think sometimes we think of doilies as only being used when we use a set with a teacup, and that they're always the same color. Now, we do have doilies now in last year's in color, but these white doilies can be changed to any color that you want. So I'm just going to go around. I'm just highlighting that outside edge, totally changing it. Going to bring in Sierra sand and a dauber. Remember, the Sierra sand was the color of my main card, and so I'm going to just sponge in the center. So I'm getting rid of that white doily completely by adding color from my ink pad. Going to bring in a stamp. I think this is from Birthday Blossoms, if I remember. It says "For You," and I'm going to ink that in the Island Indigo and stamp that on my doily. And I've got that. I see I screwed that up. Let's see if I can correct it. Probably not. I'm probably going to go in with my marker and correct it that way. That's why it's always nice to have markers in the color that we're stamping with. Next, what I'm going to do is bring in a piece of that burlap ribbon. We had burlap ribbon before, but it was wider. This is a smaller burlap ribbon, just makes a nice added embellishment for your card. I think with burlap we can also easily do it for a man's card, where a lot of our ribbons we can't. I'm going to use a dimensional on that ribbon so that it kind of pops up. And I'm going to add that right there. And then bring in my fast fuse and just add some fast fuse, and then put that on the front of my card. So there you have it, a quick creative fold using just a standard card base. Hope you've enjoyed today's video and the simplicity of my creative fold. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.